Vinayaka Vignanashaka Vinayaka Vignanashaka Vinayaka Vignanashaka Vinayaka Vignanashaka Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka 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 Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Vinayaka Vignanashaka Vinayaka Vignanashaka Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka 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 Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka 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 Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Vinayaka Vignanashaka Vinayaka Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka 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 Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka Anadharakshaka Anandadayaka Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Uma Maheshwara He Shivanandana Vinayaka Vignanashaka Vinayaka Vignanashaka बोलिए श्री विघ्न विनायक भगवान की जय। The first mantra of Rigveda is Agnim Ile Purohitam Yajnasya Datara Mrityujam Hotaram Ratnadhatamam. The first kriya, first verb used in Veda is Ile, Ide, means worship. I worship, I adore. This is how the entire Vedic literature is beginning. What is adoration without bhakti? So the first mantra of Rigveda is nothing but filled with pure love and adoration. So bhakti starts from the first mantra of Vedas. Now when it comes to the Upanishadic literature, we see, Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yogad Avaihi. Upanishads tells us, see, we are preaching you many, many things. We are trying to explain to you about, Atma, Brahman, Veda, and all these things. But please understand that if you want to really grasp the truth which are revealed in the Vedas and Upanishads, there's only one way. That is bhakti. First mantra, this is one of the first mantra of the Kaivalya Upanishad, says, if you really want to know, experience Atman, there are 4 doors, 4 pathways, avaihi, to experience. We are not talking about a just intellectual understanding of the concepts. If you really are interested to know, experience the self, Shraddha. First thing is Shraddha. What do you mean by Shraddha? No? So if you have studied the Upanishadic text or Prakarana Grantha, it says, Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha Shraddha. The first aspect, we should, if we can develop, they say, actually it's a blessing. To have Shraddha is a special blessing from Bhagavan. What do you mean by Shraddha? It is that firm conviction that whatever is explained in the Vedas, Upanishads, they are true. What? Because the things which are said in the Upanishad are sometimes we feel, no, it cannot be because it's not our experience. So this is not something which can be, shown to us in a test tube in the laboratory. But first thing, if we want to experience the supreme truth as our own self, we should have the faith in Guru, faith in Shastra, faith in Ishvara, faith in one's own self. So Shraddha stands for the faith, firm conviction that even though this is not my experience, if I follow the teachings, I shall experience this. Until and unless this Shraddha comes to us, no spiritual concepts can be understood. Yesterday I went for a program, and then one person was asking about a question of rebirth. Okay, so he was asking, what is the proof for rebirth? So we tried to explain to them Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava, and this is a time, it's not like 50 years back. Now even the Western psychologists and psychiatrists, they are starting to admit that there is something which we don't understand, at least that much. No, so we tried to explain to him all this, but he said, no, I don't believe. Now, if you don't believe, nobody can actually teach us anything. It's not that blind belief we are talking about, but when something is explained to us in a logical way, our mind should be open to at least try to understand. Even if we do not understand, we should not reject it. So, that is first thing, Shraddha. Then comes next, which is very close to Shraddha. Bhakti. So this entire week we'll be, thinking about this aspect of Bhakti, which is a very special feeling. The feeling of heart. Bhakti is something actually, flows from heart, which cannot be explained. Bhagavan Sri Narada says, Anirvachaniya Rupa. I am trying to explain to you what this is, but this cannot be explained. Now, why this cannot be explained? Because this is so subtle. This is so fulfilling. This is so close to each one of us. My love for my mother, I cannot explain to you. So because bhakti is also something like that. But coming days we'll just enjoy. Enjoy the blessedness, the greatness, the beauty of this bhakti. Shraddha bhakti. Now, when we have the faith and this feeling of devotion, what happens? Dhyana comes to us. What do you mean by dhyana? Meditation, What do you mean by meditation? Here, dhyana means we become aware of each and every moment of our life. When I am filled with faith, I am filled with devotion, I become so much aware, as though I have woken up from a dream. Each and every moment in my life become an intense experience for me. The moment when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was just walking on the field, he was just only 5 or 6 years old boy, and he looked up and he saw that there is black cloud in the sky and some white cranes were flying. The moment he saw that, it's believed that he entered into samadhi. What is that? That is known as dhyanam. Dhyana is not just we sit in a posture and close our eyes and then breathe in and breathe out. All this good. For what? To become aware of things. We actually are not aware of what is happening in this world. We are just concentrated on our own self. Our own self, not Atma. What is happening to me? Oh, how much troubles are there? Oh, one mosquito is bitten. No, if dengue will come to me. Oh, all this. Always we are aware of our own worries. Not even aware of our own self. Dhyana. When we are charged with Shraddha and Bhakti, then when you look at a flower, you see Bhagavan there. Sri Ramakrishna went to see the zoo, and the first cage, there was a lion. That's it. He went into samadhi. And when he went to samadhi, sometimes 1 hour, 2 hours, he will be in that state. So these people have to carry him back. Then they said, what a person you are. We took you to see this beautiful zoo, and then you entered into samadhi. You could have just sit here and do samadhi. He said, what to do? The moment I saw lion, I remembered Simhavahini. When I saw the Simha, I remembered goddess Durga. When I remembered her, then that's it. That is known as Dhyanam. And Yoga. So, once we are charged with the Shraddha, Bhakti and awareness, then what happens? Yoga happens. Here yoga means we start to feel that we are ever in the presence of the Supreme. When I am sitting here, when I am standing here, as though the God is covering me from within and without. As though when I am sitting, I was in the womb of my mother, how she covered me like that. In there, my life is covered and protected from within. In my heart, He is there. When I close my eyes, He is there. When I open my eyes, I know that I am in Him. That is yoga. That is the joining. That is always one with the Lord. Always in the presence of Lord. Always in the conscious. As though consciousness is something which is bubbling. This is a very beautiful aspect of Bhakti Yoga. In Jnana Yoga, the same experience, where everything becomes tallam, tajjam. This is mantra in the Brihadaranyakam. Sarvam khalyudam brahma, tajjalaniti shantam upasita. A bhakta, a great jnani, he becomes so calm and quiet. A great bhakta, he bubbles with joy and excitement and, dancing and singing. Both of them are actually experiencing the same thing, but their expression, is in two ways. One is Anandodbhodaka. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That Paramatma, how we explain, is the existence, consciousness and bliss. A jnani who is a very much intellectually oriented and one who walked the path of Jnana Yoga, of course he is experiencing Supreme Brahman, but to him the Sat and Chit, the consciousness and existence, is more near and dear, and he becomes one with that Shantata. For a bhakta, what happens? Of course, he experienced the Sat and Chit, but his actual bhava is Ananda. No, the supreme bliss. He is the fountain of love. The Lord is the fountain of love and, happiness and joy. So the moment the bhakti touches us, we start to jump. Sometimes people think, what is this person? He gone mad. Yes, we go mad. So be careful if you walk this bhakti path. But this madness is the divine madness, where we experience the oneness. The supreme joy of Lord in each and every moment, which just bubbles out. Which makes us mad, which makes others also mad. But that madness is the greatest bliss, the greatest blessing of God. Bhagavata says, I give mukti very freely, but I don't like to give bhakti freely. Why? Because when bhakti comes to a person, I am bhakti sutropanadha. I am the God, the God of this entire universe is tied with the rope of bhakti. Now, that very famous song, Taye Yashoda. That Mother Yashoda, an uneducated woman. Nowadays, because of ISKCON pictures, we think that this all of them were all bedecked with gold, and they were uneducated, were very maybe middle class people. They were living only with the cows, from one place to another, nomads, and then living like that. Uneducated woman who was this Yashoda, she was so blessed that she was able to tie the Supreme Lord. How is it possible? Even Sri Mahalakshmi, one who is always worshipping the lotus feet of Bhagavan, can't even dream that. But why? How it happened? Only one. It is the bhakti. So the aspect of bhakti is so enchanting. The aspect of bhakti is so dear, so fulfilling, that Bhagavan says, I don't want to give the bhakti to people. If you want mukti, take it. But bhakti is something which is very supreme. Anyhow, so this Shraddha Bhakti, why I am starting like this? Because I want to make one point clear, that sometimes people really think that bhakti is especially after the Westerners started to learn, study our scriptures and started to give, their own understanding out. Of course, it's very good. Because of this, many people came to know about our scriptures. But lot of wrong interpretations also came. Because that's how they think, that's how they explain. They said this bhakti started somewhere in the 14th century. I'm sure many of you might have. No, the Bhakti Prasthana, the Bhakti movement happened in India in around 14th century, where all these people came and then started and all that. But because that's how they. But the Shankaracharya was in the 8th century, and Ramanujacharya was in 11th century, and all the Alvars and Nayanar, they were all living from, we do not know who are the embodiment of bhakti. But even before that, at the right beginning of the Vedas, bhakti is there. So, this is a quote from Kaivalya Upanishad, one of the Upanishad of Atharva Veda, Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davaihi. Swamiji, this Kaivalya Upanishad is a minor Upanishad. We don't accept Kaivalya Upanishad. Okay. So there's another Upanishad known as Shvetashvetaram, where Bhagavan Shankaracharya is believed that he has actually wrote a commentary, but he has freely quoted from this Shvetashvetaram. There also Upanishad says, Yasya deve parabhaktihi yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite katita hyartaha prakashante manishibihi mahatmabihi. This you can check. Yasya deve. Whenever you get some time. Yasya deve parabhaktihi. There Upanishad says, see, whatever we are discussing in this Upanishad, in Vedanta, whatever subjects we are going to explain to you, if you really want to know it, if you really want to experience it, then what you should have? You should have bhakti. Bhakti, yes. In whom? Yasya deve. The one who has that pure bhakti towards Bhagavan. Yasya deve parabhaktihi yatha deve tatha gurau. Now, how much bhakti you have in Bhagavan, so much bhakti you should have in your spiritual instructor. Guru now should be given that much importance and bhakti in your life as you have towards Bhagavan. Yasya deve parabhakti yadha deve tatha gurau tasyete kathita hyartaha. Whatever is explained in Upanishads, whatever is explained in spiritual science, if you really want to experience them, there's only one way. That is, there's only one door to this great kingdom of God. And at the door is our heart. And this heart is bhakti. Again, in the same Upanishad, it says, Yadha charmavadakasham veshtayantiha manavaha tatha shivam avijnaya dukkhasyanto bhavishyati. Same Upanishad, the Shvedashvetaram again says, Yada charmavad akasham veshtayantiha manavaha. All of us, whether who are sitting in this camp or who are running after, different pleasures of the world, whoever is doing whatever in this world, whatever they are doing it for what? Not only human beings, whether they are any beings, whatever karma they do or whatever they do not do, it is only for one thing, or two things, or three things. The first thing is to end their miseries. There are different problems in the life. See, there are different problems, troubles, there are different sorrows. Even hunger and thirst is a sorrow. So all of us are doing or not doing. The first is, why we are doing it? The first cause is to destroy all dukkha. Sarva dukkha nivritti. Sarva dukkha nivritti. Not only one dukkha, two dukkhas, but all the sorrows of our life should end. Okay. Then, Paramananda Prapti. It's not that there should not be sorrows in life, but we should experience the Paramananda. And for some time, no. For eternally we should be happy and content. So Shastra says these are the three driving forces behind each and every being, not only human, even human or devatas or a worm. All of them are actually trying for these three things. One is Sarva Dukkha Nivritti, Paramananda Prapti, third is Nitya Tripti. Of course, I have heard all this. Of course, I know that you have heard all this. But when you put all this together, it will be easy for you to meditate again about all this. So, we are all trying for this. And the Upanishad says, if you want to really remove dukkha from your life, now, if you hope that by doing this, by doing that, by not doing this, by not doing that, if I will be able to remove the miseries of my life, Upanishad says it is not going to happen. Yes. Says the day you will be able to fold the entire sky like a carpet, if you just a carpet we fold, like that, if you think that one day you will be able to fold the entire sky as a carpet, that day you will be freed from all miseries. Oh, so I will be able to do that. Yeah. If you think that you will be able to do. No. Good, Rishi, I think it's not possible for me. Okay, then you should do one thing. What is that? Shivam Jnatva. So, unless you realize, you experience God, if you think that without experiencing the supreme truth, if you think that I will be able to remove all miseries from my life, it is like thinking that by wrapping this entire sky, I will be able to do one day. It's like that. Means what? It is impossible. It is impossible to remove all miseries from our life until we realize the supreme truth. So, this is from the Upanishads itself. Now, what is bhakti? Bhagavan says, and in the Shastra says in one place, you see, bhakti is very common. Achha? Yeah. All of us actually know what is bhakti. We may not know what is jnanam, we may not know what is dhyanam, we may not know what is kriya or karma, yoga. But bhakti, we all of us know. Achha, what is that? He says, Saktir Vishaya Prema Dehadara Grihadishu Ishware Paramam Prema Bhaktiritya. What is prema in this world? No, we also love our father, mother, husband, wife, children, our house, money, car. We love cats and dogs and so many things. Not just love, we are so much attached also. So, Bhagavan Shankaracharya also says in the Gita, in Brahma Sutra Bhashya, that if something happens to our dog, oh my God, now we cannot live about, cannot even think about. Swamiji, please don't tell all these things. We are getting so much of attachment is there in all this. Asakti is there. Where Vishaya, different enjoy. It differs to people. If some person, coffee, it's known as the coffee asakti. Without that coffee goes in, no functions can happen. So much of asakti is there. No, I don't go to ashrams. No, why? You can, you are now retired, no time is there. Please go to ashrams, you can listen something. Why? See, I will not get coffee in the morning. Without coffee, that is known as asakti. Asakti, vishaya. Sometimes when we tell like this, we may laugh, but think about it. We are so much attached with so many things, isn't it? Our caste, our religion, our country. Even that pen which I got on my 10th standard, which my father gave me, if my wife touches it, I get so much angry. Why? So much of asakti is there. Swamiji, is it all not natural? It's all natural. Okay. But when we are attached to things and people and places in this world, that is known as asakti. But the same asakti, the same feeling, if it is directed towards God, then the same thing is known as bhakti. So this is the important point in bhakti, because bhakti is not something which is not experienced by us. All of us, we are attracted and attached with something or someone. No, I am not attached with anything. This is an idea. We are attached with it. We are attached with something. This body, sometimes we feel, Swamiji, I am not attached even with this body. Then if I give you a pinch, why you are pinching me? Oh my God, my body. We are attached. And see, this is why bhakti becomes so understandable for us, because all of us has experienced this. What? That the core, although that is directed towards different things, but the same feeling, when we direct it towards the God, that is bhakti. Bhakti is not something which cannot be understandable. Now, says, so Ishware paramam prema bhakti ritya vidhiyate. So what is bhakti? Ishware parama prema. The same attachment you feel towards your wife or husband. The same attachment and oneness you feel towards your son or daughter. The same attachment and reverence you have for your mother and father. The same kind of, that bhava towards your motherland. That's all okay. But when the same attachment, the same reverence, same, oneness when we feel towards the Lord, that is bhakti. So bhakti is not a foreign thing. This is why bhakti became so common. Other aspects, other parts of spiritual, saying, oh, okay, but bhakti becomes so. That's why, see, Bhagavan Sri Narada, in each parampara there are great masters, isn't it? So, in this parampara of bhakti, Bhagavan Narada is the Acharya. Narada! in our language, whether it is Malayalam, whether it is any language, if somebody calls you Narada, that's not a very good name, What do you mean by Narada? Means troublemaker. That's how we take. But Bhagavan Narada is not a trouble. Of course, he makes trouble so that he will come out of his egocentric, notions, and he will progress. He is the most revered Acharya, Rishi of the entire parampara. This is what happens now. We don't learn the scriptures properly. What our small knowledge is only what our grandmother or great-grandmother or, housemaid told us, some stories, We have not learned anything from the scriptures. We have not even learned Ramayana and Mahabharata like that. What is our Mahabharata background? The TV serial, which is not at all correct. Many places they have deviated from the original epic because they want to make it, popular. So they have deviated from the original text so much. And that's what we believe. This is what happened. Anyhow. So, Bhagavan Narada, I feel that we should start with understanding Narada. Once, Sri Bhagavan Sri Krishna was seated and he saw that Narada Maharshi is coming. So with a smile, Satyabhama told Bhagavan, "Oh Bhagavan, some trouble is coming." Bhagavan looked at Satyabhama and he was very serious. And he said, "You know who is this?" And then, he narrates the gunas of Narada. Narada, who is Narada? Narada is the Manasa Putra of Brahmaji. Not an ordinary. Manasa Putra means when from Brahmaji's mind, Bhagavan Narada was born. And Narada is who? He is known as Devarshi. What do you mean by Devarshi? We have heard about Brahmarshi, isn't it? Means one who has realized the Brahman. Now, who is Devarshi? Devarshi means he is a Deva, like Indra. And at the same time, he is a Rishi. Now, such a great person he is. So, Brahmaji himself taught him Shastra. So, he is the mind-born son of Brahmaji, and Brahmaji himself taught him the Shastras. And after studying all the Shastras, Bhagavan Brahmaji told that now, you reflect upon this. He reflected upon that, and then he felt that he is not complete. So he went to his elder brothers, Sanakadi, and he said, "Oh Bhagavan, I have studied all these, Rig, Yaju, Sama, Dharma, everything from my father, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Jyotisham, Chandas, everything. There's no branch of knowledge which I have not learned. But still, I heard that, Bhavadra said, I heard that one who has gained the real knowledge, they will be free from all kinds of shoka. Tarati shokam atmavit. No, one who has realized this Atman, he will cross over all kinds of, sorrows, but I am not free from this. Mantravidevahamasmi na atmavit. I have studied. Then in the Chandogya 7th chapter, Chandogya Upanishad, 7th chapter, Sanat Kumar Adi explains this entire truth to him. And then he goes to Himalaya, 1,000 years he did meditation and he realized the supreme truth. That means his life is complete. Now, there's nothing to do. So he goes back to his father, Brahmaji, and asks, what should I do now? See, I came, I studied, I experienced the supreme truth. Now, what should I do? He said, now I will give you a mission. What is the mission? Go to each and every door of this universe and see that each and every being is devoted to Bhagavan Hari. So, he is the first missionary. He went to each and every door in one way or other, made sometimes, lot of troubles they made in their life so that they understand the true nature of Supreme Consciousness. Jayati Jagati Mayam Yasya Kaya Dhavaste. That small boy who was born as the son of the greatest or wretched Asura known as Hiranyakashipu, who banished all kinds of worship of God in his kingdom. That boy, who Prahlada, he is considered as the greatest Bhakti Acharya. Why? Because Sri Narada, when Prahlada was in the womb of his mother, Sri Narada instructed him. Jayati jagadimayam yasya kaya dhavaste vachana rachanamekam kevalam chakalaya dhruva padamadiyato yat kripato dhruvoyam. No, and another boy. Now one day Bhagavan looked and he saw that one small boy, 5-year-old, is walking. And his lips are trembling and then tears are flowing from his eyes. And he felt, oh, poor one. So he came and asked, what happened? Where are you going? You should see a 5-year-old boy and he's walking. And then Narada asked, where are you going? He said, I am going to the forest. Forest? Why? I am going to do the tapas of Hari. 5 years, you should go back and play with your toys. No, forest is not a place for you. He said, no, I should go and I should see. No, I should have the vision of Hari. So that, that's what my mother told me. Acha, but you are such a small boy, you go back. Your mother or father might have said you something in anger or something. Don't take it serious. No, go back. He says, no, I am a Kshatriya. I am a son of a Kshatriya, and a Kshatriya never retreat. If he goes friend, that's it. He'll never retreat. I may die in this path, but I will not go back. Oh, seeing this, you just think about the small boy telling such things. The boy, Bhagavan fell in love with that boy and gave him Diksha, Mantra Diksha, Dwadashakshari Diksha, and took him to the Madhuvana. And then within 6 months, that boy had the darshan of Bhagavan. Bhagavan was forced to come. Such great is this. No, Bhagavan, Vachana Rajanamekam Kevalam Chakalaya, Dhruvapadam Abhiyato Yatkripato Dhruvoyam, Sakala Kusala Patram, Brahmaputram Natasmi. Before starting this bhakti, trying to understand the aspect of bhakti, let us first prostrate in front of Sri Narada Maharshi, who is the Adi Guru in the path of bhakti. Anyhow. Now, so what is bhakti? Bhakti is nothing but love. This love. Love towards God. That's it? Yes. Swamiji, now we have 6 more days. Now what are you going to tell? Oh, I have many things to tell. But actually, what is bhakti? Bhakti is nothing but pure love to Bhagavan. Is it possible for anyone to explain the love, the real love? No. Is it actually possible to express? No. You may gift your wife or a husband something. It can be just only an expression of your love. But it's not actually the love. Just because I am not giving, a gift to my sister or my brother or my husband or my wife or mother, it doesn't mean that I don't love them. Because love cannot be actually explained or expressed. Can be only felt. I know that my mother loves me because I can feel it. I know that my guru loves me because I can feel it. It is not something morning and afternoon, evening you should say, I love you, I love you, I love you. It doesn't mean anything. Okay. Now, so this much is the essence of love. Now we will see the different aspects of love. So, Man ki baat. Now, Buddhi ki baat. So, Man ki baat, the true bhakti is that love. And all of us know that love. Only thing is, whether we will be able to direct that love towards unknown. I love you because you are known to me. But we feel that the God is unknown to us. We feel it's not true. But we never recognize Him. There's a very beautiful word in Sanskrit. It's known as pratyabhijna. Says that the spiritual life, in spiritual life you are actually not knowing anything new, but it is only recognition. Cognition, no? Cognition means to understand. So what is this? That's known as cognition. What is Adhyatma Anubhava? What you say, what you experience, like as the experience of God. The experience of God is not cognition. The experience of God is recognition. What do you mean by recognition? No, I recognize you. When I say I recognize you means what? I already knew, I know you, but then I forgot, and now, yes, I recognize. Means what? This is not a new knowledge. The knowledge of God is not something new to me. It is something, it's like I know it. And now, oh yes. So, the love for God is also like that. Bhakti is also a recognition. Because all of us, we are blessed with that feeling. But now it's like, going here and there to hundreds of things. So we are not able to direct it towards the true self. And now the moment we are able to direct this love which is there in us towards the Supreme, to the truth, that is Bhakti. Now, today, first we will just, so Man Ki Baat ho gaya, wo to something which we have to experience by oneself. Now we will come to the Buddhi Ki Baat, something which is related to our intellectual understanding. Let us try to just think about Bhakti, so that constant thinking and remembering and all that will slowly starts to work on us. So, what is Bhakti? What is the definition of Bhakti? There are different definitions. We will study one after another. We are here for that only. But first we will start with the grammatical understanding of Bhakti. Now, in Sanskrit, each word is derived from a root. There is a root, there is a base from which a word is derived. Now, this is how we study in India. If you want to know anything, first we start always with the grammar. And grammar and grammatical structure gives a great insight into the real meaning of, because we just use Bhakti. Because we don't think what it means, but when we try to understand the deeper meanings, then it opens up different areas which we are not even dreamt about. Now, let us start with the word Bhakti. How the word Bhakti is formed in Sanskrit. The word Bhakti is formed in three ways. First one is known as Bhagat. Note down, and afterwards you can just translate it and keep in the notice board so that people cannot understand. So Bhagat Bhakti. What is the meaning of Bhakti? First explanation, first derivation of Bhakti is Bhagat. What do you mean by Bhagat? We use the word Bhaga. No, I think all in our vernacular languages also we use Bhaga in different meanings. One meaning of Bhaga is I am in the side of. This is my Bhaga. That is your Bhaga. We say, no, I am a Congress person. You are a communist person. You are a BJP person. Why? This is my Bhaga. Congress is my Bhaga and opposite is Vibhaga. So I I belong to. The first step, the first aspect, the first feature of true bhakti is bhagate. We start to feel that I belong to God. मेरे तो गिरिधर गोपाल, दूसरो न कोई. No, I belong to God. Now, there is a great relationship with Lord. No, I love Him. No, I love Him as my father, or my husband, or my wife, or my child, or my friend. There is a relationship. The first aspect, or first aspect of this bhakti is bhag. The moment we start to feel, now how we know that whether we really love Him, how we know that we are actually, are developing bhakti, is if we are having this feeling that I belong. When I feel that I belong to God, when I feel that I belongs to someone means to the Supreme, that is the first sign of bhakti. So, bhagat bhakti. Now, when I feel that I belongs to God, the second aspect is bhaj sevayam. Next aspect of bhakti is seva. So if I belong to you, now if I feel that I belong to you, how my feeling towards you is expressed? It's only through service. Now when I feel that I belongs to my father, when I feel that I belong to my mother or my husband or my wife or my child, what I feel, how this feeling is expressed? The feeling, the love is expressed only through seva. When I want to serve Him and my entire life, my core, my everything is offered at the lotus feet of Lord. Yadyat karma karomi tat tadagilam shambho tava aradhanam. When I feel that whatever I am doing, everything is a service. Service to whom? Not service to X or Y or Z, but the God who is residing in each and every being, Bhagavan who is sarvavyapi. Now, that's why in Nalvar, the four saints of the Tamil tradition, one of them, they are always used to carry, weapons with him so that he can serve. Clean the temple, worship Bhagavan. Not only cleaning the temple and worshipping Bhagavan is, but there's an expression, because this is my father's house. When you go to the temple and you feel that my father, if you feel Bhagavan as your father, if or my beloved's house, would we allow that house to be dirty? No. That's why, who was that one, fourth one, Sundaramurti, So he always used to carry a small, with him, so he want to clean the entire place, because he felt. And that feeling for Bhagavan, that bhaga, that feeling that I belongs to Bhagavan, expresses as seva. So what is bhakti? Bhaja sevayam. That's the second aspect of bhakti. Then comes the third. Third is bhanjanat bhakti. What is bhakti? Bhakti is that which destroys. Destroys. Yes. Bhakti is that which destroys, uproot all kinds of wrong notions. All the, durvasanas, all those tendencies, all the wrong understanding which I am carrying for birth to birth.
How many lives I am carrying this feeling that I am this body? Now, for how many births I am carrying this feeling that I am a jiva, an individual being? Bhakti is that which destroys all these wrong notions. Bhakti is that which actually destroys the ajnana, the ignorance. So bhakti in that sense is not different from jnanam. So we will see that. No, Bhagavan himself will tell in the Gita, bhakti and jnanam are not two. We will see that. So bhakti can be explained in three ways. Bhakti is bhagat bhakti, sevayam bhakti, bhanjanat bhakti. When I feel that I belongs to him, when I feel that I belongs to Lord, what I want to do is karacharana, whether it's with hands or legs or what, kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yat yat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. Every action is not only just doing puja, is not only doing worship of Bhagavan, it is not only doing the construction of Bhagavan's temple. Yadyat karma, whatever I am doing is an adoration of Lord. My life is the festival. No, there is a paddhati in the Sri Vidya Upasana, it's known as the Nitya, every day. Each and every moment of my life is a great festival. Why? Because each and every karma is the adoration. Each and every karma is an expression of my core existence, which is none other than the Lord. So whatever I am doing, if I am taking a cup of water in my hand, this is an adoration. Why? Because this water is none other than the Lord. The glass is none other than the Lord. Sarvam Kalyudam Brahma. There is nothing in this universe which is not God. And I enter into that mood of great adbhuta, and whatever I do becomes a great adoration of Lord. And that seva, when I enter into this mode of seva, when I enter into this mode of worship of Lord in each and every moment, there comes a period when we understand that there is no more me, there is no more him, he alone exists. That's why very beautifully Sri Adi Sankaracharya, there's a very short work of Bhagavan known as the Shatpadi. There he says, the waves, waves, we see waves on the ocean, and then we say, there are lots of waves. The waves are there, but actually the wave is only an appearance. Waves appear and it dissolves. Like that, each and every karma, all these names and forms are nothing but one appearance of the wave which came from the ocean, exists there and goes back into it. And I am also that only. So this is the explanation. Once it says, Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra asked Sri Hanumanji, what is your philosophy of life? Sometimes people ask us, what is your philosophy of life? What they mean is, what you mean by your life. What are the views in which you live? क्या philosophy है? कुछ philosophy नहीं. ऐसा जी रहे हैं. Just living. But he had a philosophy. He says, Deha buddhya tu dasoham. Whenever I had this feeling that I am this body, when I say this body means what? This entire universe. Everything, whatever exists in this world is based on this body. Isn't it? My mother, father, this life, the society, everything is based on this body. Deha buddhya tu dasoham. whenever I had this feeling that I am this body, I always considered myself as your servant. No, I kept a very active relationship with you. I am there, and Lord, you are there. I am your eternal servant. I belong to you and you alone. And the sole purpose of my life is to worship you. But sometimes when I think about it, I understand that I am not this body. I can't be this body. Because, see, when I was a small baby, I was not looking like this. When I was 10-year-old, I was not looking like this. Now I am not. So, this body is something which is keep on changing, and how can I be the body? No, this body is not me. Then I understand, I am not the body, but I am that self who lives on this body. As though there is a person who is staying in a house for rent for some time. No, even if the house collapses, if by God's grace he is outside, he escapes, he still continues his existence. Like that, even when the existence of this body, there is no more, when this body collapses, still I keep on going from one body to another. Who is that? That is a jiva. Says, whenever I feel that I am not this body, I am that jiva, then I feel that jiva buddhya twadamsakaha. I am a part of God. Whenever I feel that I am a jiva, I am a part of God. And sometimes when I feel, how can there be a part of God? When you say God and the parts, the moment this concept of part come to the God, involuntarily we are bringing this idea of separateness. The God is there and one part of him is here. So that means what? God is no more complete. Now there is 100% thing. So if you take 1% of it, then how much is there? Only 99%. That means God is not complete. So when I feel that I am a part which is separate from God, then God becomes yes. That's not possible. Then I understand, actually I am not even a part of him, but he alone exists as me. Now, deha buddhya tu dasoham, jiva buddhya tadamsaha, atma bhavena tvamevaham. When I have this feeling of atma, I am the self, I am atma, tvamevaham. Iti me nischita matihi. So, in bhakti also, there are three kinds of bhakti from different angles. One is known as Advaita Bhakti. Please don't think that Advaitins, they don't believe in God. We have a very wrong idea of all this. Advaita Bhakti is there. What do you mean by Advaita Bhakti? Advaita Bhakti is feeling the complete Brahman as my own self. No difference. Sometimes people think Advaiti cannot be Bhakti. Advaiti is the real Bhakta. You read the works of Shankaracharya, you read the works of Sakshal Sri Ramana Maharshi, who lived just, you read the life of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who experienced Advaita Anubhava, and you see that their love, their bhakti, that is something which is marvelous. Why? Because we love ourselves the most. Upanishad says, na patyu kamaya pati priyo bhavati, na bharyaya kamaya bharya priyo bhavati, na putrasya kamaya putra priyo bhavati. You love your husband, your wife, your child, not for their sake. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. You love them for your own sake. Why? Because the moment the father, the mother, or husband, or wife, or child gives trouble to you, we say, I love him, but we know. Okay, so a bhakti, Advaiti's bhakti is complete, purna, because we love the self. And when I understand that Ishvara is my own self, that bhakti is something which cannot be explained. That is something which is known as para bhakti, where there is no more trace of Dvaita. There is no more I and God. In Bhakta's view, God alone exists. In Jnani's view, I alone exist. But only one exists. Only the way how they look at it is different. No, but the experience is same. So that is known as Advaita Bhakti, or generally in Bhakti Shastra they call it Para Bhakti. Bhagavan Sri Narada explains Bhakti in these terms of Advaita. He says, Satvasmin Parama Prema Rupa. He is not telling the Bhakti is love for God. No, the Bhakti is love for someone, Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva. No, he says Asmin. Asmin means what? In this means what? In Atman. So what is Advaita Bhakti? Advaita Bhakti is the supreme devotion where we forget there is a being like this. Only he exists and he alone exists. So that is known as the Advaita view of Bhakti. Then comes next that what we call as the Vishishtadvaita view of Bhakti. I am not talking this what Sri Ramanuja said or Sri Shankara said. What I am trying to tell you is these are the different aspects by which we can recognize the Bhakti. In Vishishtadvaita Bhakti what happens is I feel that I am a part of God. I am a part of God who is eternally related to Him. God is there, I am there. Okay, God is in a way different from me, but as I am a part of Him, I am not completely different from Him. Like they take the Upanishadic verse, no, just like a spark coming from the fire. The fire is there, from that a small spark is coming. The spark is part of the fire, but what the fire can do, the spark cannot do. So they feel, I am part of God, but God is someone who is greater. So there is a kind of Advaita, because in core both of us are same, but there is a Vishishtata. The God is superior. There are a kind of separateness. Oneness in separateness is known as Vishishtadvaita. Where I feel, that's what Bhagavan said, Jiva bhavetu todamsakaha. Atma bhave tvamevaham is Advaita, Jiva bhave todamsakaha is Vishishtadvaita, and then comes the Dvaita Bhakti, where I feel that I am completely different from God. I am there, God is there. She is supreme, Namah Shivaya, I am there. How can I how can I be God? I am not God, He is there, I am there, separate difference. We feel, generally always, most of us, we feel like that. God is there, and I am there, and I worship Him. We don't feel the oneness with the God, so that is known as the Dvaita Bhakti. Please don't connect this with the philosophical aspect. I am trying to tell you these are the three levels in which all our mind works. Sometimes we feel we are different from God. Sometimes we feel, no, I am part of Him. Sometimes we feel that we are one with Him. So these are known as the Advaita Bhakti, Vishishtadvaita Bhakti and Dvaita Bhakti in this Shastra. Okay. Should I go? Okay. Now, if you have any questions, we can think about them and then we'll meet tomorrow. If you have any questions, whatever I covered up to this, because there may be things which maybe you want to ask, maybe in the next classes I may speak about them. But if you want, not only question, if you want any clarification, you did not understand that shloka which I said in the class, any clarification you can ask now.
Read a little more about Bhagat. First one.
Bhagat Bhakti. Bhaga means I am in the, like I belongs to him. I belongs to his party. There, separateness is there, but I feel that the bhakti actually starts, real bhakti actually starts when we have a relationship with God. Now, our chanting, our going to temple, everything is good, but the moment you really feel that Bhagavan is mine, not I belongs to God, that moment alone, the real bhakti starts. That's why in our scriptures, we have, the Bhakti Shastra gives us different kinds of feelings which we can develop. Like we can develop like Swami and Bhritya, the Lord and the servant, like the Hanumanji. We can love him like our own child, like Yashoda loved Krishna, or we can love him as our beloved. It is known as the Madhura Bhava. Vatsalya, the child, and that is Vatsalya, and Madhura Bhava is like Radha loved Bhagavan as the supreme beloved. So there is Madhura Bhava, and then there is Sakhya, like Arjuna felt towards Bhagavan. So the beginning, the real actual beginning of bhakti is when we have a feeling, real feeling that I belongs to God. Or let us say another way, God belongs to me. Means I am in his party, I am in his side. I am not in the side of X or Y or Z or anything. That's what I said, Mere to Giridhar Gopal. I belongs to God, God belongs to me, and I have him. Even if anything goes away, I have one strong hold, that is God. So actually the bhakti, see, if you want to serve through the, and then once all other things vanishes, the first is that grip on that feeling, that relationship with the Lord. So Bhagat means to develop the relationship, an actual feeling towards the Supreme.
Is these three levels similar to the three levels of bhakti of the Gopikas?
Yes. Yeah, I will come to that. See, in the study of the Narada Bhakti Sutra, Bhagavan Sri Narada, after explaining the bhakti, etc., actually, I will talk about this tomorrow, but just after explaining different aspects of bhakti, etc., then he gives the example of Gopikas. Yadha Vraja Gopikanam. In this Vraja Gopika, there are three kinds of Vraja Gopikas. One kind of Vraja Gopika, just like Sri Radhaji, where Abheda was there. Radha entered into a state when Sri Krishna went away. She came into a state where there is no more separation. People were telling her, like Uddhava, went there, but Radha was in a form, in a state where there was no separation. Now, sometimes afterwards when people started to write literature, they wanted to, but Radhaji, as which is there in the Bhagavata, we can see this in the, that Brahmara Gitam. When the Brahmara comes, Brahmara means a bumblebee which is blue, when that Brahmara comes, Radha feels that this is Krishna. Because whatever he sees in this universe, there's nothing but Krishna. And when he looks at her herself, he feels that that is the highest. And then comes the feeling of Ashtasakhi. If you have read the literature, Bhakti literature, so Radhaji was there, and there had 8 Sakhis of Radhaji. They were in this Vishishtadvaita level. They felt that I belong to Krishna, or Krishna, I am part of Krishna. And the other gopikas were there, in a way, in Dvaita level, where Bhagavan and we are her servant. We are his servants. So these 3 levels of bhakti we can see when we read and understand and analyze Bhagavatam. When we just read everything, then we feel, okay, everything good. But when we analyze and understand, we can actually see these 3 states. So that's why Bhagavan Sri Narada, so he himself was a great bhakta. And there were bhaktas like, Uddhava, there were bhaktas like all other great bhaktas were there. But Bhagavan Narada is giving the example of Yatha Vrajagopikana. Why? To indicate that this is all possible in the field of bhakti. Dvaita is possible, Vishishtadvaita is possible, Advaita is possible. That's the beauty of this the path of bhakti. Anything is possible.
When we do Gayatri, Sandhya Vandanam, Pradhan, Vakhyana, after chanting the sacred of Gayatri, we touch the Asavaditya Brahma Brahmaivahamasmi. Can I explain that?
Asavadityo Brahma Brahmaivahamasmi. This Aditya is none other than Brahman. That's Upasana. And in Veda, there are different kinds of Upasanas are there. So this Brahman, this Aditya which I am seeing, as whom I am worshipping, is none other than Brahman. This is not a gola. This is not a planet. There's a planet that's a lot of sun, but this is none other than God Himself. And this God Himself is me. This we can see when you learn the Ishavasya Upanishad. This all complete process is given from the Hiranmayena Patrena. No, Hiranmayena Patrena Satyasyapi Hitam Mukham Tattvam Pushanna Pavranu Satyadharmaya Drishtaye Pushanne Karsheyama Surya Prajapati na Vyuharasmin Samuhate Jahayate Rupam Kalyanatam Tatte Pasyami. Then when he see that, when we pray to God and then God reveals His form, what he see is Sohamasmi. What I worship as different from me is actually my own nature. So every day when we do this Sandhya Vandanadi karma, that upasana becomes stronger and becomes clearer to us. Okay. Now, sirs, your question. This actually belongs to historical understanding. Adi Sankaracharya came and preached Advaita Vedanta. Not only Advaita Vedanta. He went to each and every village. There were so many different kinds of wrong understandings and all kinds of wrong ways of worship. Wrong in the sense, killing and then, what you call Bali and all those things were happening, and all kinds of tantric worship where unutterable things were happening in the name of religion. So he went to each and every place. Not only he preached Vedanta, he tried to change the lifestyle of people. But 32 years he lived. This is a very short, and that 32 years he only worked, he did his prachar work only for 16 years. By the 16th year, he has completed his bhashya. From 16 to 32, out of 16 years, he worked among the people. And it was a great wave. But what happens, we can see that when we read the literature, many acharyas were not able to really understand, not the Guru Shishya Parambara of Shankaracharya, where Sanakasana. See, when he go to a place like Mahatma, great scholars used to come, he will explain his things, and then they feel, okay, we understood. But most of the time they did not understand what actually he taught. So what happened is within 200 years, and this was the time where the Mughals, not Mughals, the Muslims were started to attacking India, and lot of problems were happening, and people were in confusion, because Advaita Vedanta is something which we should understand in a very proper. It's not something, Aham Brahmasmi and I am God. If somebody thinks that I am God, he's gone. When Vedanta said, no, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, there is not telling you are God. There is a process. The Guru has to prepare the student to understand what actually it means. It's an intuitive understanding. So people don't understand. So this is the time, and lot of confusion came out, and people started to misinterpret Vedanta and all that. That was the time Bhagavan came. Sri Ramanujacharya came because he wanted to, because people are not able to really understand it. So now what is the importance of Vishishtadvaita? Vishishtadvaita is the gap, is that which is the bridge which builds, which connects Advaita and Dvaita. So now we are in the bank of Dvaita. Means God is different and I am different. And Advaita, that is the other bank where it says that the essence of God is the essence of you. To understand that, we need lots of purity. Realize it. So now Vishishtadvaita is that which actually bridges these two shores. Vishishtadvaita says, yes, in essence you are one with the Supreme, but in practice you are different. So it was needed so that people will be able to actually walk from the shore of Dvaita to Vishishtadvaita. So I believe that whether it is Madhvacharya, whether it is Ramanujacharya, whether it is Sri Shankaracharya, all are one. Only one supreme consciousness came in these three forms because he wants to help each and every one of us, wherever we are standing. But alas, what happens according to always, we fight with each other. We don't even study what is Dvaita, what is Vishishtadvaita. We don't understand what is Vaishnava, what is Saiva, and what we don't understand. We only want to fight. That mriga is there in all of us. So we make everything a big problem and we fight each other. That fighting is nothing to do with the acharyas or philosophical systems. Philosophical systems are there so that we can understand the different aspects of the truth. Sri Swamiji Vivekananda says that it is like, you take a photograph of sun from here, and then you go 100 kilometers and take a photograph. You go 1000 kilometers and take a photograph. You are taking the photograph of the same sun, but it all will look very different. So Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, Advaita is actually these photographs of the Supreme from different levels. And Vishishtadvaita bridges Dvaita and Advaita from the philosophy. Thank you very much. Hari Om.